something about those city lights were calling out my name. Now mama, don't you cry, you know there'll come a day where I come visit you at home. And if I never stay, the same old worn out welcome sign, population getting by, crossing that county line brings back the good old days, with the same old station on the side of that homegrown two-lane paradise, watching that midnight sky you don't see in LA. This big world will always change, but the small town will stay the same. This concrete tree line's got my head up in the clouds. A good thing that I got my roots back in steady ground. With the same old small church parking lot, I cried when Bobby tied the knot. By God, we never thought he'd give her his last name, or the ring that I won on the night that we once stayed 14 to 9. Those Friday football lights sure did feel like fame. This big world will always change, but the small town will stay the same.
This is a cool looking arena right here. So commencement was literally just like yesterday or Saturday?
Yes.
It's a lot of banners.
Those are all national championship banners.
Very cool. And then that's
The original 80-year-old.
how do they even I mean, I know you always had to.
You have to stand up.
This is I stopped, so I guess.
Over there, but then just south of the main square is
Gotta get Boone Pickens Stadium.
headshot.
Craig's like in the good present for sure.
Getting some video footage for the channel. Man, how new is this place? Like you said, it was new, so.
It's pretty new. It's about a year and a half, something like that.
Okay.
So we're just pretty freshly in here.
Are you guys affiliated with that church right across the street too, or like Victory or whatever?
No, the pastor went here, but we're not affiliated with them.
Okay.
We own everything.
New Haven, not too long ago.
We can turn our lights on for you,
Okay, so I'm a man of faith. I love getting to come to Christian universities. This is a beautiful one. As I just drove around campus to get here, what I noticed is 1 Corinthians 9:24. You have that as the athletic department mission. It's over here on the wall too. So maybe just tell everyone what that really means to you as an athletic department and institution, of why you would pull that scripture out to explain Oral Roberts.
Well, you know, one of the things that I think makes leaders effective are those who are authentic, right? And so being an authentic leader is someone who takes their experiences, the people they're around, and what makes you up, right? And so, you know, I had the blessing to be at Arkansas on the football staff. I had the blessing to be at Clemson before this and work for Terry Don Phillips, where I was able to be a part of building Clemson football under Coach Sweeney and a lot of those kinds of things. And so that same culture that really runs and permeates that Clemson athletic department, and specifically the Clemson football program, it was built around that scripture. And so as I'm coming up in the profession and I'm building up, you know, sports sponsorship or sports supervision and those types of experiences, that verse became part of who we are as we were developing Clemson football, right? And that's where all in came from, right? When you're talking about we're going to be all in, and 1 Corinthians 9:24, don't you know in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize. Run in such a way as to get the prize. Well, that such a way is what developed All In, right? And how we're going to be all in and what that means to give something everything you've got. And so that same culture, again, that we built there is the same thing that I really think has helped us here. And again, you know, we were part of that. And so it's authentic to who I am. It's authentic to the leadership style. I think that passion comes through when we're talking about how to build a program culturally, the type of things that you need, I think personally, to really help a program and a team go far beyond maybe what the talent says. Well, I think the biggest thing there is you're talking about, and we hear people say this all the time, is you've got to create value for the organization. You got to be somebody that if they left, be irreplaceable, right? Well, what does that mean, right? You got to be a problem solver. And so in our business, there's a lot of people who can point out the problems. There's a lot of people who can complain about the problems, but how many people are there that come with solutions? Might not be the right solution, right? But if I can be a problem solver, a critical thinker, and from a deputy AD standpoint, what does a deputy AD do? It's like an associate head coach, right? And so you want to lean on that person. As an AD, you want those people to be the kind of people that help hold your arms up, help you solve problems, because it's a lot to manage, right, on your shoulders, particularly in this environment that we're in, that you're managing from an AD standpoint of all those different things we talked about, whether it's driving revenue or student athlete retainment or head coaching and hiring, all these different things you've got going on, that you've got to have a good team around you that can help manage that. You can't do it all, right? And so you got to hire to your weaknesses. You've got to make sure people come and drive things that you might not be able to drive, that they're authentic to themselves, that they're going to help you solve those problems. And then you've got to show people you can do that and do it over and over again and have the kind of energy that you can match, you know, with your AD that you're in, so that he can see that and go, man, that's a guy I can't live without. I got to have him, right? He's somebody that really drives me and helps me. And so it's how do you be a problem solver? You got to spot the problems, but how can you come with solutions and say, hey, you know, we're going to figure this out together. It's something that we're going to, you know, handle in this time.
Bring me into golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a breeze, love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire. Never the same. Whenever you're calling my name, I'm taking my sweet time. Hey, whatever the plan, I know I'm holding the best of me out of my head. I know you always understand.
You know, it's a week-long process for them to load in, and you got to clear out parking lots and you got to block off streets. And so there's a lot, it's about a week-long process. And so when school's going on and there's a lot of things, it's challenging. It would be really challenging to do it during football season. For us, the sweet spot is spring, post-graduation through the summer. In that window, I would say we could do more than one. And again, it just depends on where you are and what all goes into your stadium, the logistics of what's, you know, where your stadium is. If it's off campus, that may be much easier. So everyone's going to have, you know, their different challenges and advantages. But for us, I would say probably twice a year would be as much as we could do. Now, we were going to do Zach Bryan. When you said weather, that was a bad joke because
Yeah, I remember
we
that,
were going to
yeah.
do both nights. And then the first night we got, it was a thunderstorm with tons of lightning. And so we had to cancel Friday night. We just got to do Saturday. So that was different, where you could do back-to-back nights fairly easily. But if you were going to do two completely different shows, that would be a challenge. But again, the window of time based on your campus and what all is going on, the logistics of your stadium, that's going to impact you quite a bit.
Well, Justin, thanks for hosting me and being on Hired Athletics. I appreciate it.
Glad to have you anytime.
Okay, scene. And then are you okay if I do ask you that one question?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'll clip this one to make it to put it on LinkedIn, because that's where the channel. I always get like nervous that like, did some ghost or something turn the recording
Oh,
button?
yeah, make sure it worked.
Yeah, it went though. And we were actually perfect timing. I'm trying to stay between 35 to 40 minutes, and we were at 39, but we didn't record that whole time. So
Oh, good. Yeah, I would say the biggest change for me is now that we are allocating a significant amount of our resources to the players, which was not the case before earlier in my career. And so, so much of the job now is, particularly at a level like Tulsa at the G6, where you're not going to have enough to do everything. I think the art of the job is allocating your resources to the most impactful areas and really understanding how that you can operate your department as a business to run as lean and as efficient as you can with your operating budget, so that you have enough resources to give to your coaches, particularly in football and basketball, to build winning teams. And that is the art of the job now. And I think you'll continue to see that. And regardless of what level you're at, it's just a little bit different. So here, because of where we are, all of our player resources can technically be revenue sharing because we are so far below the cap. Well, if you're at, one of the Power 4 schools, so much of their day is spent on how do we get above the cap dollars and how do we reorganize the department or change our structure to allow us to do that. And so I think everybody's trying to figure out what changes do you have to make and what mechanisms do you put in place to allow your coaches to acquire the highest level of talent, because you have to have a certain level of talent to be successful. And the way that you do that now is very different than it was just a couple years ago.
Back on the HEA Road Athletics road trip, just got done talking with Athletic Director Justin Moore from Tulsa, here with the football stadium in the background. Thanks again to my sponsors, Pilotics and AD Vantage, for helping me get on this trip. This wraps up the Oklahoma portion of the trip. So started the lunch in Stillwater with Chad Weiberg, went over to Oral Roberts and met with Tim Johnson, and now just finished with Justin Moore from University of Tulsa. Such a cool city, University of Tulsa. I'm a big Tulsa King fan. That great show really highlights the city of Tulsa. But I mean, this campus right here gives off SMU vibes to me, and I told Justin that. And it's just a smaller campus, but it feels, like a really nice place. And imagining this stadium full. They had Zach Bryan do a concert here, and we talked about that, but it's a cool place. And now I'm excited to find something to eat maybe, but then hit the road to Texas. So thank you for watching. I'll have some clips out of these AD interviews I'm gonna share with you on LinkedIn, so you don't have to wait until the interviews come out. And thanks to Pilotics and AD Vantage for believing in me from the beginning. They are great sponsors. They're great companies. I wouldn't be partnering with people that aren't great companies. So those are two of my sponsors that chose to help me afford this road trip, and can't thank them enough. It's just, it's fun being out here, and the weather's a lot better than Indianapolis. This thing is kind of freaky looking at.
all right, so ready to go?
Ready to go.
A lot of purple. Landman should film in here. I'll send them this video for season 3. Oh my goodness. What's in there? Or is that just for show?
So these are all doors from before the renovation. But
Yeah, I was gonna say it had to have some element of that.
Walk right out, and to me, one of the best views.
It almost feels like Premier League soccer right now, like what you expect there. Oh yeah.
This is where literally.
So you literally can't have a bad seat.
No. So here's the good and the bad.
Sun
Best
goes
view.
right there.
Sunset's on that far side, so you're covered. You got this is the home.
Pretty nice.
Wellness break. Quick start.
Let's see.
All right, you got 15 seconds.
Oh man.
Smell. So it puts out a smell.
Fresh pine. Let's do lemon leaf. Oh, it actually changes scents. Wow. All right, I gotta explore and then I'll get out. Let's fly over Norway real quick. Oh man, that's so funny. All right, so let's see. Okay, so Mike, you came from Army to TCU. I would say two very impressive institutions for but very different missions. So, whenever you kind of transition from an Army West Point to a Texas Christian University, how does an athletic director learn that new mission and culture, and then how do you kind of apply that through your lens as an AD whenever you step foot on this campus?
Yeah, it's a great question. Obviously, West Point has a very unique mission. More other than Air Force and Navy, there's really nothing comparable. And so for me, making that transition to TCU, I think to me there's two stages. One is a lot of the prep for interview. At least my approach is to dig into what is the mission, what is the culture, what is the written strategy, whether that's through a strategic plan or the chancellor's key initiatives, et cetera, and spend a lot of time studying it and thinking through, okay, does this really align with what I believe and what I'm comfortable with? And then once you get the job and you physically get to campus, you get a chance to see, okay, is the strategic plan and the mission just something that lives on a website, or do you actually feel it and sense it? And so when I got to TCU from Army, it was certainly a different mission, but similar to most of the ones in higher ed, whether it was Wake Forest or Furman, where I worked previously. But what I liked about TCU that was unique is it's a living, breathing commitment. And my arrival at TCU coincided with the arrival of a new chancellor, and so he's been giving me the opportunity to hear a lot of his speaking engagements. We've done a lot of traveling together, and so what I like to do is to echo a lot of the same language, so that the little tidbits that he's talking about, whether that's community engagement, whether that's being student-centered growth, phrases like that are part of what our mission is. To see the athletic director using the same language as the chancellor, I think is a really good optic and a really important thing. So to me, there's the part of studying it on paper and then seeing it, living it, breathing it.
Yeah, that's cool. I won't film your athletes. Very nice.
So the funny thing about this.
Yeah, so critical, urgent, and important was something that I picked up at West Point. As you said, it's it really helped me come into a new job and get the lay of the land, because when you're the new athletic director or the new deputy or the new football coach at a new place, everything is really important. But what I learned through the military lens is everything's important in that role too, but you have to be able to delegate. And so the leader, the general, the athletic director, the chancellor, we need to focus on what's critical. And I would say in the world of college athletics, what we used to deem critical has now fallen to just being important, whether that's APR, graduation rates. And so you have to delegate those things to others, because what's critical right now is coming up with a national standard that will protect fair play, continue to have young people graduate, protect them, help them invest their new financial gains in positive ways. And so that's what the athletic director role for me is: handle those critical things and then surround myself with other people who can take care of the important things at the end of the day.
I had listened to the How I Built This podcast. I love that podcast. Yeah, I mean, it's where I get a lot of inspiration of ideas to ask. And so whenever they said like, well, you can just do lunch with Doug at Magnolia, I was like, and then like the next day I was looking at downloading episodes of that show, and I was like, there's one on Chip and Joey.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I gotta watch this now. It's research.
They're cool people.
Yeah, they seem like it.
Chip is wild.
Yeah,
like the show version is real version.
Yeah,
like,
that's good.
It's fun. It's fun. How did you get into the? I won't ask you any questions after this, but I'm just curious. Like,
so the story is it was 2019, like late 2019, and I was assistant AD at a D2 school. I got accepted into the doctorate program at Indiana University because the school I was at, we didn't offer doctorates. It was a small private, and I said, I want to study the AD position because I knew I wasn't going to travel all over the country to try and be an AD.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'll just interview people. And fortunately, it's like, how do you get that first traction? Well, Ross B. York was the first person I ever interviewed at NACDA. Ended up hating doing NACDA interviews just because it's so loud and everything. But he still gave me the time. He was still at Ole Miss. But then I went to my twin brother was at Oregon.
Okay.
So athletics with football. And so I flew out to watch Garth Brooks do a concert.
Oh, fun. Oh.
And so while I'm there, I was like, I got to ask Rob Mullins. I was like, hey, this new podcast. He says yes. So we sit down, and then Mitch Barnhart said yes because him and Rob know each other. And I was like, well, I got some heavy hitters. Can I even keep this up?
That's impressive.
But then COVID hit, and people are actually getting used to video.
Big shift.
Yeah. And so I was just doing it as a hobby while I was working in college athletics. And then, so I spent 10 years in college athletics, left to go work for the D1 ticker company after COVID. I led IU through an NCAA audit, like compliance.
Okay.
Then I was like, I just kind of want to like try this remote thing. Miss being on campus.
Yeah.
Nothing in athletics was hiring, but I that's when I went to work for the president at
Which
IU.
When I saw that, like in your background, I was like, that's fascinating. Gosh. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I just was like, it will be the burning question that I just got it.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah.
I think a lot of that, you got to build trust before you ever get to that level. Like that's probably not, when he came on as a new president and I was in this role, like you've got to build a level of trust where the people you report to feel like your staff, your leadership within the athletic department's thinking ahead. We're ready. We're not going to be caught off guard. And so that a lot of that is, how do you build that over time so that when you do have a big decision to make, there's a level of comfort and trust that we're not going to have to go try to ask a lot of questions for the things we don't know, because we feel like we've vetted it pretty solidly.
I always do this thing after like the first couple questions. I make sure that
you're recording.
Well, I know that I'm recording. I always just check, like, for one, where are we at timing, but also, is there a ghost in here that accidentally turned it off? We're still recording, because I was like, that's it. For some reason, it won't let you turn it around, and like I wouldn't be able to see the clock even if I had it on there, but the timer doesn't show up when I turn it around. It drives me crazy. And I wish, that little insert for the, that's the receiver for the mic. I wish it would blink.
Yeah.
Because it blinks knowing that the mic's picked up, but that doesn't mean it's recording. I learned that the hard way. So, yeah.
No,
but,
that's good.
No, this is good. Let me mark that out. I'm kind of curious about uniform patches.
I think the beauty of walking into a situation where you've had success, you don't have to come in and do what a typical AD would have to do. You don't have to spend months trying to learn the place and learn the people and learn the challenges and the hiccups. And so we were able to kind of just move and transition things really quickly. So having that knowledge and being able to work with staff, there was already a comfort level, and certainly with our executive team to be able to keep that intact and work together was a huge plus. I think really as an internal candidate, the challenge then becomes how can you begin to put your fingerprints on the things that fit you as a leader, and not necessarily feel like you have to do it all the old way, but how can we keep systems and processes and things that work, but then add kind of the personality that fits you. So that was really, looking back over that time, were kind of the things you were weighing as you go into that leadership opportunity.
Play basketball here, so that's his contribution.
Well, that's where I cut my teeth in academics, so I always appreciate a good academic center, right? For the video.
Okay, the PhD and MBA students were in here for graduation. Everybody else was in the stadium.
Got that Texas flag.
Yeah. So, as an academic person, you'll appreciate this. So you see those banners right there?
Yeah.
Rhodes Scholars, Pulitzer Prize winners, Nobel Prize winners. Oh yeah.
So I'm not sure if we lead the country, but we're top 5 in the country in win improvement year over year.
Yeah, I would think
we're
so.
Plus 14 with 3 regular season games to go.
It's a cool backdrop to hit a home run in.
Yeah, it's such a cool. So this is all medical district though. You think it's.
So that's the medical district you're talking about?
Yeah, it's the Texas Medical Center.
You're good.
Camera shot that. Yeah, it's.
I mean, so this has got to be. Are you able to use this for premium suite during home games?
So this is a recruiting space.
Yeah.
Recruiting hospitality during games.
I'll get Eric look like he's actually working in the video.
But it has changed a little bit. and I have to get out there more than probably I've ever done anywhere else.
Yeah, and that leads me to thinking about this too, is advice to close out for you're what I would consider a traditional AD because you've been doing this for a while and you're still so young.
I hope so.
The deputy that had worked their butt off for he or she to rise up the ranks to now they're a deputy AD level, they're the chief whatever officer depending on the place. They're starting to hear this noise. I've had several reach out to me. Do you really think that it's going to be these outside people coming in, or how do we protect against that? And what I tell them is, look, it's a lot easier to, I think, learn sports and the business model and apply that to the new version of college athletics now that those constraints have been placed off or removed, than it is for someone that works for a professional sports team that they think they're going to come in as an AD, voice pitch, and they're going to think that they can come in as an AD and just be like, oh, I can just run this like the Houston Texans. Well, in reality, you've got a president, you've got a cabinet, and you've got the board of regents, and it is going to be slow moving at times.
Yeah.
What compared to a professional sports model. So what would your advice be for those deputies? What can they do to maybe learn the business side? Because they're not going to necessarily be the ones talking to these Fortune 500 companies. What can they learn to kind of protect against that, and so that when they go on an interview, they can still speak intelligently about what can we extract from that model?
Yeah, first of all, stay the course in learning and understanding this business, because every day I feel like I might not be learning the same amount that I learn every day, but some days it might be more than others. And me, as the director of athletics here, I'm learning something because I'm pushing myself to do so. So what I would tell the same thing to all the deputies, senior associate ADs, and so on, and whatever titles they have, get outside of your comfort zone, because now more than ever you need to understand every aspect beyond just the day to day. Now you have to understand the day to day, and you have to understand what it entails to do your job and do it really well. Sometimes people get so consumed with trying to figure out what the next person is doing. If they're in fundraising, they want to know what marketing may be doing or this, that. Do your job, do it really well. But also at the same time, always look at what the AD is doing, learn from how they approach things, right or wrong, good or indifferent. If you're sitting in that seat, how would you approach certain things? I think it's a lost art that many of the administrators don't take the time to see. If I'm going out there to do a press conference, why am I doing it? What am I saying? What's a better approach? How can I learn from that? But also go out there and intentionally go and meet business leaders. Learn about the private equity of the world. Learn about the businesses. Learn about the corporations, because this is becoming more of a CEO of multi-million-dollar industry, which it's always been, but now it's even more than ever. The reality is, though, if they want to be a player that's going to be able to make decisions that are going to benefit the university and the athletic department, they have to be well-rounded. So go do your homework, go get connected, take the time to learn, get to meet presidents. Don't just meet ADs, go meet presidents. They're going to be the ones that are hiring you one day. What does it take? Those regents that are business leaders, well, how can I communicate with them? It's not just going in there and saying, hey, how are you doing? No, it's understanding that you want to have an articulate conversation with them that's going to allow you to feel comfortable.
Yeah. Eddie, thanks for letting me come to Houston.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
And it's really fun to be in Houston, the city, and it's thriving. And I really love this campus. It's awesome. And I'd say it's no longer a commuter school, and it hasn't
Absolutely
been for many
not.
years. And I think between you and Renew Couture, it's shooting up the top of the Big 12.
Well, I appreciate you being here. The University of Houston is a special place. And for those that haven't had an opportunity to come through here, I welcome them, because what we're doing here is unlike any other place. And as I keep telling our staff, everything is possible here with the right people and the right mindset. So thank you for coming. Really appreciate you.
I almost said Pac-12. I don't know why.
That's all right.
You guys took in too many.
Yeah, for me, it was important to come in and assess the department. Too many times people come in and start making changes with the industry, the way things were happening. For me, it wasn't a benefit to come in and start moving people. What I wanted to do was assess them, understand if they were in the right positions to help us move the department forward, but more so over the last 6 months, I would say it's really given me a chance now to restructure the whole department, put individuals, recreate positions that are going to help this department move forward. It's not about us today. It's about how do we continue to grow it. So I urge individuals that take a new role out there to be smart and assess the situation, understanding that the way you look at things may not be the way the person before you did. So take the time, look at it, get to know the people, and then ultimately you're going to know the changes that are going to be necessary to be made.
Hello from the Hired Athletics Road Trip. I'm wondering if you can tell what college campus I am on right now. I'll show you in a second, or you may have already seen it. I was reflecting today as I get ready to head back home, and I realized a lot of this trip was to also figure out the business, but I wanted to share some interesting things that I had about some ADs and some people. So I sit down with one AD for lunch, and he just made me feel like I was like the most important person. We put our phones away, didn't check his phone the entire hour. I had another AD, I always ask ADs, are you still having fun? And he's like, look, everybody has their own things. And he instantly went into, I'm putting myself in your shoes. You're 1,000 miles from home. You miss your kids. You're missing some baseball, but you're doing this to grow your business and to help with the long term of your family. And all these ADs have just been so selfless that on and off air when I talk to them, I'll tell you what, I am ready to get home though, about 8 or 9 hours. So now I'm going to tell you where I'm at. Hotty toddy, I'm at Ole Miss. Thanks for following along on the Hired Athletics Road Trip.
This is all.